discussing how to bathe your dog. These tips are going to work for puppies, adult dogs, and even anxious dogs. So if you have a dog who's maybe a little bit uncomfortable or nervous about the bath, you'll certainly find this video helpful. We're going to be discussing some general things that you should do before introducing your dog to the bath. Also, some steps that you can take to help get your dog used to it beforehand. And then we're going to discuss the actual process of bathing your dog and what that looks like. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So, before you bathe your dog, you're going to want to research exactly how often you should bathe your dog and what the correct grooming routine would look like for your dog's breed and coat type. So, for instance, since my dog has a smooth coat, he should only be bathed about once every 3 months, and he doesn't require a whole lot of brushing or a whole lot of maintenance. But if you have a dog like maybe a Great Pyrenees, that's going to be a little bit of a different story. So make sure that you do your research in figuring out exactly how you should go about bathing your dog the correct way. Also, you can consult your veterinarian if you're not sure or if you're finding conflicting information online. You are making sure that you do have the correct bath time routine for your dog. The second thing you're going to want to do beforehand is figure out where you're going to bathe your dog. I recommend using a bathtub. That's what I like to use. But if your dog is small enough, you can use a kitchen sink. Just make sure that they don't get their paws stuck in the drain. You can also use an outdoor hose, but I'd recommend against that since outdoors it might be a little bit chilly, and especially once wet, that could create a very negative experience for your dog. Also, the hose poses the risk of your dog getting loose and then getting dirty and undoing all of the hard work you just did. So I recommend just keeping your dog indoors for baths, but ultimately it's up to you. Lastly, before you start bathing, you should prepare your dog slowly. So here you see me putting treats around and in the bathtub to get Leroy excited about it. This is something that you should do up until your dog gets excited about seeing the bathtub. That's whenever you can actually go ahead and introduce a running faucet. But for a while, you're going to want to work in the baby steps of just getting them acclimated with the tub. For the purpose of this video, I went ahead and just bathed Leroy so that I could explain to you how to properly bathe your dog. But again, this is a very important step, so make sure you take enough time to prepare them before you actually get into the bath. Let's go ahead and talk about how to actually bathe your dog. So the first step is to brush your dog. Brushing out your dog is a very important step because this is going to help loosen up any fur. It's going to get any dirt and mud and bacteria and grime kind of loosened, and will also take out any tangles, which is a pretty important part if you have a dog with long hair. Once you do turn on the water and you're ready to go ahead and get your dog bathed, make sure that you use gentle pressure and lukewarm water. It doesn't have to be exactly lukewarm, but you just want to make sure that it's not warmer than what you would use for a human baby, and you should be okay. My third tip would be to make sure that you maintain a calm demeanor. You're going to be setting the mood for this bath time. So even if your dog is having a little bit of a difficult time getting used to the bath and you're struggling to get the bath done, just try to stay positive, keep a calm tone, and make sure that you're using short, clear phrases for your dog to understand. Just give them words of encouragement and stay positive. Another great tip for this would be to use treats. This is something that I did in this video to try and help Leroy have a better bath experience. Ultimately, he was a little bit too distracted with the bath to pay much attention to the treats, but if your dog is fairly okay with the bath, then food might be a good option to help make them have a more positive experience. You're going to want to make sure that you use a shampoo meant for dogs. Don't use human shampoo. I know that, it might be tempting if you've run out of pet shampoo to just give your dog a quick bath using your own, but your shampoo is not going to be good for your dog's skin. That can cause a lot of problems, and it can lead to some pretty severe skin irritation. So make sure that the shampoo you use is actually designed and intended to be used on dogs, and you might even want to look into something that is specifically for your dog's coat type. Once you have your dog all shampooed and lathered, you're going to want to go ahead and rinse them very thoroughly. You don't want to leave any residue on your dog's skin, because once it dries, that will also likely lead to irritation. So just be sure that you rinse them very, very well, and if you have a nozzle, this is the perfect time to use it. If not, don't fret. You can just use a large cup and pour the water over them to gently rinse them. So when it comes to drying your dog, you can air dry them, but this does pose the risk of them getting loose and, again, getting your house covered in wet dog fur, or them getting dirty, or a whole lot of other issues. So I recommend against air drying, but if you must, that's always an option. What I like to do is towel dry my dog. This gets them just dry enough to where I'm comfortable letting them loose, but also to where it doesn't pose any sort of a threat to his skin. You can use a doggy hairdryer, but again, that's something that should be used with caution since it can dry out the skin. Don't use a hairdryer meant for humans on your dog. Those are going to be much more harsh than a doggy hairdryer. So if you're going to use a dryer, just invest in one that's meant and intended to be used on animals. My last tip would be to make sure that you praise your dog. Of course, you want to do this throughout the whole experience, but especially at the end as well, because you want to make sure that your dog is aware that the bath is a good thing and they did do something fantastic. This also makes sure that your dog does have a positive experience and kind of seals the deal for them in terms of creating a positive association with the bath. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that these tips were able to help you in understanding how to create a comfortable bath for your dog. And if you have a nervous dog, don't fret. These tips over time should be able to help you. Yes, it will take consistency and a lot of effort, but with time you should be able to see results. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment your experience with these bath time tips, and I can't wait to see you in our next video. Thanks for watching.